New technologies are constantly appearing in the healthcare industry, and the healthcare industry is always looking for new ways to make improvements. Wilson, your business, DoctorNow, is creating a platform to help connect doctors more efficiently with patients in need and hopefully reduce costs and improve outcomes. And Alvin, you've got a business that's improving the therapeutic process for people that have injuries to their hands that need therapy, their hands, using robotics. And so Wilson, I want to start with your platform. How are you improving health outcomes?
We're helping doctors to utilize their time to serve the community by traveling to the elderly home to do medical consultation. Alternatively, if they're not available, they can use our apps to do video consultation. So we're bringing the doctors to the people who need the service. We have been doing that for 3 years. Basically, we are serving 60 to 70 elderly homes in Hong Kong. We have been provided around 7,000 consultations. We are saving 10% emergency admissions by previous studies.
When do you think that you're going to see it expand geographically? What is your roadmap?
Still a lot to do in Hong Kong. After all, there's 800 elderly homes in Hong Kong. Not to mention there's a lot more elderly living at the home with the family. So as a matter of fact, we are expanding our service to the elderly living at home at this very moment. So we have been visiting about hundreds homes this year, including doing video consultation as well.
And Alvin, for people that have an injury, that need therapy to their hands, you're using robotics to accelerate recovery. How does robotics help you do that?
So we do that by offering robotic-assisted physiotherapy trainings through our handy robotic glove. We actually have sensors that goes on with the robotic gloves. We detect the muscle signals of their patients. So even for patients with very weak neural and muscle signals, we can detect that movement. And then based on the intention of movement, we help them to do the task they otherwise couldn't do before without the robotic glove. So by doing that, we help them complete the neural reconnections loops, so that it's kind of helping them to train up new brain cells to cover up for the brain cells which are injured or dead because of a stroke or traumatic brain injuries.
I think that in every market around the world, governments are really struggling with how to bring these new technologies in healthcare into the marketplace. What kind of government interaction do you have here in Hong Kong, Alvin?
One thing is that we got funding from government to kick off our projects, start some pilot productions, and launch our product out. The second thing is that the government is launching a scheme for our customers, elderly homes and nonprofit centers, so that they have more fundings to buy products that they need to use in their rehab trainings sessions, which these things we haven't happened for like 20 years. If you go into an elderly home nowadays, you can still see that they're using technologies from 20 years ago, which is kind of sad.
And Wilson, are you seeing that same kind of progressive approach from governments here in Hong Kong and further abroad?
I think there's an urge for improvement in Hong Kong, especially from the government side. There's a lot of pressure of providing health service in this region. I can see a lot of fundings coming into this area, but I'm actually more concerned about regulations, how at the moment it's mainly self-regulated, even though we do interview our doctors prior joining the platform. Having said that, we are actually looking at rolling out a rating system so that the patient who've been using the doctor service would be able to provide some kind of rating that we share among others. Hopefully that will improve the quality even better.
And so Alvin, what would be the funding formula you'd like to see governments implement to improve the outcomes?
So nowadays they have just launched a scheme for nonprofits and rehab institutions to buy products for them to use. But what we want to see is really that they increase more capacities and offerings to individual patients. Because we're talking about like aging in grace, rehabilitations in their homes, tele-rehabilitations. Nowadays, for disabled persons, they can only get about 3,000, 4,000 Hong Kong dollars per month subsidies from the government, which is nothing. You can't even pay off the taxi fees for the whole month, right? So if we can increase that, and also maybe the government can work with like insurers to help patients have a more sustainable like financial income for them to buy more rehabilitation services, healthcare services. That will make a great impact to each and individual patients in Hong Kong.